fellow gardeners. It is almost spring and I wanted to go around the yard really quick and kind of give you an idea of what I've got going on here in Oklahoma. And I wanted to start off with this crabapple tree. We planted this 3 years, right? About 3 years ago. And it is such a beautiful tree. I'm hoping that he can kind of get some close-ups. There's probably about at least 10 bees on this thing right now. It's just, I mean, the flowers are beautiful. I just love this tree. Such a good purchase. This was a suggestion actually from the nursery that I was at, Southwoods. They suggested this tree and we couldn't be happier with it. It's just beautiful. So this one, I ended up having a bunch of cosmos that I grew from seed in here. It was really pretty for a short period of time before some winds came in and just like obliterated the cosmos, and for the rest of the whole summer this was just kind of a mess is really what it was. So I decided this past fall actually that I wanted to do something different. So this is going to kind of be my purple flower, white flower, kind of silvery-ish foliage type of garden. So purples, whites, and your silvery. So in here right now I actually transplanted a hydrangea that I had in a pot last year. This is a limelight hydrangea over here, and I think it's going to do pretty well here because this is a lot more shaded than it was last year. So I think this is going to do pretty well, and you'll see the difference between this hydrangea and the leaves on it in comparison to some other hydrangeas that we have that are in more of your full sun, because there's a lot more leaves on that one. But I think overall, considering this is in a shaded area, this is going to do really well here. Last summer I planted this Rose of Sharon. This is a dark lavender chiffon Rose of Sharon from Proven Winners. So real pretty purple flowers. Very excited about this. I have down here right here, this is a sedum. This is the Rock and Grow sedum. I've had this in at least 3 other places in the garden and it hasn't done well. So I'm really excited to see that it's doing as well as it's doing right now. And considering that it is, I'll probably buy at least 3 more and kind of have them around here. And this is a cute little singular, this is the cat's pajamas Nepeta, and it has some little buds on them, so I'm so excited. Again, only singular. So I'll be purchasing some more of these as well. So it'll be fun to see how this garden comes together. And this was also a new bed this past summer. That has started out really pretty with some swan marigolds, white swan marigolds, and some petunias and so forth. I kind of, wasps actually kind of built a home in there, and I kind of didn't do much of anything in the latter part of the summer. So completely redoing this one as well. We had planted a yellow rose bush last summer, and we transplanted over some original rose bush from the house that when we bought it, it's got pink flowers on it. So we just transplanted this over the past weekend, and we transplanted some switchgrass and some fountain grass, and so I'm real excited to see how this turns out. I think this is going to kind of be more of your rose garden slash with some different kind of grasses in there. I'll put some annual flowers in here as well. I'm not quite sure yet what I'll do. So this pot It has a lot of sun, but it does get a little bit of shade as well. So typically what I plant in here does really, really good. And this summer I've decided to do more of a succulent pot. So I'm gonna keep that grass in there, which is just such a weird yet cool plant. And I'm gonna do just a bunch of different succulents in here. So I think that'll be kind of fun and different. And this garden was the original rose garden. It had 3 rose bushes right here, and the roses ended up getting a disease. They had a bunch of black spots all over them. We were able to save one of the bushes, which I just showed you in the other bed. I planted the 3 limelight hydrangeas here. I also transplanted some barberry that I had back in another garden bed. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do in front of the limelight hydrangeas, but again, that's kind of the exciting thing. I'm thinking maybe barberry. We have a lot of bunnies that come in here. This whole border here, I planted pansies, and I don't have any flowers because the bunnies eat them. So I'm thinking, well, maybe if I do the barberry, possibly that could deter the bunnies, but I'm not quite sure. But again, I actually think it looks better without the roses. It's a lot cleaner, and we'll kind of see what becomes of it later on in the season. So we have a few pots that mostly just have pansies and violas that I planted last fall. They all, actually the pansies and the violas had completely died. And they're coming back now, so they're not exactly beautiful or anything, but they do provide a little bit of color. And since I can't necessarily plant annuals right now for the summer, I'm keeping them in here. Kind of pretty. And then over here is I actually planted this. I made a pot last fall, and I put this heuchera in there. This is a Proven Winners Dulce Silver something. And look at the buds. I love this thing. It did really good in the pot last fall, and then it's really growing really pretty so far this spring. I'm going to transplant this actually into that bed over across the way here in a little bit, and then I'll end up putting more of your annuals in this pot. This is the bed that causes me the most issues. I typically do zinnias in here. Those are the one flower that does pretty good. So what I did do is I transplanted a hibiscus over here. The hibiscus is right over here. I had this in the cottage garden, and it didn't do bad, but it didn't do great. And from what I've read, hibiscus can actually handle more of a moisture, more wet soil, and this is what this bed has. And so I'm kind of excited to see how it does in here. As you can tell, I actually do have flowers on these pansies, so the bunnies don't come over here as much, but I'm not real sure what I'm going to do here. I do have a bunch of zinnias seedlings upstairs, so that's probably my go-to, but I would like to actually create something that's has a little bit more form and structure someday over here. This is a tree, I think. We got this the first fall that we moved in here 3.5 years ago. I don't have a clue what this is. If any of you guys know what this is, please send a message on this video, because I really don't know, but it really is pretty. It has to be, well, I mean, it's got to be some kind of tree. So, but it has real pretty kind of maroon leaves with these flowers. So this is the cottage garden. This is really my favorite part of the yard. And it's looking a little bare, but we have made a few changes. So this Weigelia that I had in the garden last summer was covered up over there. I planted it in the wrong area, so we've transplanted it over here. This is the Vinho Verde shrub from Proven Winners, but take a look at the leaf. It's just so cool, and I'm so excited to see it this year. And it's really doing really well. We just transplanted this just a couple days ago, this past weekend, and it's doing really, really good. So excited about that. We've got our hydrangea coming back. We have, blue spruce. I had the name tag on this tree and I don't know where it went. But I love this. This is just kind of given a whole new character to this whole garden. I love the height, I love the color. Really, really fun. And then throughout here I've got some Shasta daisies coming up, the Veronicas coming up, the hot pokas are coming up, daylilies, the coneflowers. It's really exciting. I've purchased quite a few annuals already from Proven Winners that I can't wait to kind of put in through here, and then I'm growing some more white swan marigolds that I'll put in here. I just purchased this past weekend and I'm very excited about it. So this is a black tower elderberry, and I wanted something that's going to provide height but it's not too wide, and so this gets to be about 6 to 8 feet tall and only 3 to 4 feet wide. So I could not be more thrilled. And I love, again, this kind of almost has the same color as the Weigelia over there, but this is just really fun. I'm excited about that. We also, this is where I took out the hibiscus. We had the hibiscus here, and I'm really kind of enjoying the whole tree thing. So this is a pine whitestone pillar. And you know, per this, it says that it's gonna get like 25 feet high and 6 feet wide. And another really important thing about going to your local nursery is I was talking to them about kind of what I wanted to fill in this space, and they said, well, it will get 25 feet tall and 6 feet wide. Oh gosh. In a cooler location where these are more native from. But here in Oklahoma, he said it's probably only going to get about 10 feet tall, maybe 12 feet tall, and it's not going to get near as wide. So this is really exciting. I love the pine tree here. Okay. Panning over here, we still have the barberry and lots of the Russian sage, which I just love it. Love the Russian sage. We moved the butterfly bush that was kind of more up front over here. We moved it over here by the 9-bark, and also the blanket flower, which was kind of back here. We moved it up front because you couldn't see it. So I am learning, you guys. I'm learning, and it's really just so much fun. This 9-bark is probably going to start blooming in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and I cannot wait to put it on the video. I wasn't doing videos last spring so you could see it, but this is just beautiful when it blooms. But I cannot, I mean, Oklahoma, hot, humidity, these 9-barks they do amazing here. So real excited to be able to show you guys what this looks like when it blooms. So the yellow yarrow is looking good. I don't see any blue. Oh, I do, look. So there are some little buds on here. I really only see this one. Well, no, there's more. So this is exciting. This should start blooming here pretty soon. And back in here I have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 different agastaches. Those aren't going to bloom until later on in the summer. Some crepe myrtles, have a smaller version of the 9 bark, which you can see a little tiny little bud right there and right there. Can you see it? So these are gonna flower soon. Oh, they're so pretty when they flower. But again, love the 9 barks. This might be dead. It is a chiffon, like a Rose of Sharon that I purchased, and it didn't do well last summer. Well, crap. Yeah, it's gonna totally. Wow, is that what it's supposed to do? Maybe it's supposed to do that. Completely regrow every year? Can't imagine that. Yeah, it is. So it's not dead. It's regrowing. More crepe myrtles, and then this is my beautiful Weigelia that also didn't do too great last summer or spring, really, because we ended up getting a frost late, and so it completely died back. So fingers crossed we won't get a hard freeze and this will continue to do well. So I had to get some of the cooler annual flowers just for some color. So when you look outside the windows from our house, you can look out here and see some pretty flowers. So we've got some snapdragons that I will transplant when I redo this pot and more of your summer pot. I'll transplant those out into the bed. But really pretty. Also here's some Nemesia that I purchased. Again, I'll do the same thing. Although they look really good in these things, don't they? So we'll see how long they last in here. I may keep these in here before, and not change over to a hotter annual and keep these in here for a while, but they look really pretty. Again, these were just more of the violas and pansies that had died back, and love the flowers, but I am really looking forward to going ahead and changing these up. And honestly, I'll probably end up changing up this pot this weekend and put more of your annuals in there and just cover them up in case there's some type of freeze. But I'm excited to get my pots going. But a little bit of color as I look out of my window and come out here and sit on my porch. We planted this honeysuckle. This is only the second. This is the second summer. Well, will be summer. And it is just really, I mean, this was a tiny little plant when we purchased it, and it's really grown pretty vigorously. So, yeah, it's really fun, really pretty. I can't wait for it to start blooming. Thank you so much for walking through my garden with me today. I'm really excited to see how things turn out as spring approaches, and I hope that you guys join along in my upcoming videos, and I hope you have a wonderful day.